Hi again, everybody. Welcome back to Tom's Press Box. Brought to you this week by my Diet Coke that I just bought. So this week I want to talk about parents, sports parents, sports dads. Well, who am I kidding? We all know moms are in charge. So, but I'm here to really talk about both, and the role in high school transfers. A lot of that came up last week. The stunning news about Gretna, and I'm really not here to talk about what they should do with that, but just in general, why we do the things we do. And I was a little hard on sports parents, high school sports parents this week, but and I'm one too, so we all have it. It's all in the name of our kids' best interests. So I can't really blame them too much because I kind of understand where they're coming from. I've had daughters play all the sports and OSA and soccer leagues and everything, and I really don't. I tell them I don't really care if they're in sports or not. I've got enough sports in my life, as you can see, and I just kind of enjoy having them try everything. And number one, I want them to be, I want them to have good grades, because in college that's what's going to get you where you want to go. And very few scholarships out there. By the way, dads, the people I hear from in college say that there are the sport that has the most scholarships is women's golf. So buy your daughters golf clubs. But just in general, I'm not much of a sports dad. I love to go to the games. I support. I try to keep my mouth shut. The one time I got in trouble, I was yelling at a soccer ref. Of course, that's just rumor. That would mean I was actually watching the soccer match. Sorry, Anna, but I was there, and it's about you tried hard, you played well, and that's my take on it. Others are a lot more serious, but again, it's about caring. We all care in our own way. I'm guilty. I'm not sure that you would call me a helicopter parent necessarily, but I'm probably a lower level. When we were trying to figure out if we're going to buy I get a bigger house because I needed more bathrooms. I've got 3 daughters. This is several years ago. I said, you know what? I'm going to put them in the best possible school for academics. And I won't say where we go, where we were. I don't want to do that, but I'm probably the most guilty of anybody in the city when it comes to this kind of stuff. My dad was a long-time math teacher and high school football coach in Kansas City, the Kansas City School District, which was always strapped for money, and seemed like it was weighed down in politics and busing and trying to get federal money and trying to do this and that, and it seemed like the teachers never had anything or never had enough support, or the old coach would come home every night, and I would hear him complain and really just see the frustration in him because he couldn't get kids to come to class. When they came to class, they didn't want to listen. It was just they didn't have always enough materials, enough books, enough this or that. And I always promised myself, if I get into that position one day, I'm going to make sure that my guys have the best. So I found a house. I worked for a year, and in a certain district. And then I waited for a house to come up, and it did. Actually, I found a sports bar first. The first time, I usually get the house and then find a sports bar. This was the first time I found the sports bar and then got the house around it. Oscar's Pizza, for those wondering. I'm guilty of doing what a lot of people do. When they take their kids and they try to transfer into the best coach, the best program, where am I going to get a scholarship? Where am I going to get noticed? It isn't always right. There are different extremes to that. But I get it. I understand it. I've kind of done it myself. So, my take on it is very simple. We all want to do what's best for our kids, or in a lot of cases, what we think is best for our kids. A lot of times the kids may not want that. They may not want to play OSA. They may not want to play a certain sport. And sometimes they get burned out. And a lot of that is on the parents. But, darn it, we want what's best for them. And sometimes we think that's a scholarship in a certain sport. Maybe because we see them being on ESPN one day, or we played a sport, or we were in a certain line of work, or we want them to follow our path. And I just try to avoid that at all costs, because you know what, I've been very blessed in this job. I have never worked a day in my life. I found something I love to do, and I get paid for it. And it's every day is like the greatest day ever, because I get to do what I love to do. And I tell my girls, find what you love to do, and then go spend the rest of your life doing it. So, but as far as the transfers thing, it's the NSAA needs to keep an eye on it. I think they are. I hate to see the transfer portal come down to the high school level. Just have, it doesn't matter where you live or what you're doing. You can go anywhere you want. Apparently there's a rule in Texas where you can only transfer for academics. You can't transfer for any sport. Of course, parents will find a way around that somehow. There's always gymnastics to be done by parents getting their kids where they want them. So, but really, it's good to, there's a lesson out there in real life, and that is, you can change jobs, you can move around. If you don't like your boss, if you you're tired where you are, you can go find another job. You can leave after 6 months, you can leave after whatever. But there's going to be problems everywhere you go. There's no perfect job. There's no perfect place. So it's eventually everybody finds that out. So I kind of think it'd be great if we could teach our kids that in high school. But I know a lot of us are too busy wearing the gear and too busy getting into their lives. And so do I expect it to ever stop? No, because parents are going to be parents. And sports dads are going to be sports dads, and usually they're going to do whatever the sports moms tell them. So that's all I've got this week. We'll have more next week on Creighton basketball, Husker hoops. Next Wednesday is signing day for Nebraska. Signing day is always a lot more low-key these days. There should be like a transfer signing day. Maybe we'll talk about that next year. Next week with more transfer talk. But Nebraska's certainly doing better with the transfers than they are recruiting, but that's good because they had to this year. So anyway, that's all I've got this week. Thanks for joining me, and we're still here. We'll be back next week. Thanks.